Prince Charles' letters to be released after Supreme Court ruling. The UK's highest court was asked to judge whether the Attorney General's office acted unlawfully when it prevented their publication in 2012. The newspaper sought disclosure of the letters, written to 7 government departments between 2004-5. The Prince's office at Clarence House said it was disappointed the principle of privacy had not been upheld. A spokeswoman also said the issue was a matter for the government. It has been argued that releasing the so-called Black Spider memos, a reference to the Prince's handwriting, would undermine his neutral political status. Politically embarrassing Prime Minister David Cameron called the ruling disappointing and said the government would now consider how best to release the documents. He added, "This is about the principle that senior members of the royal family are able to express their views to government confidentially. I think most people would agree this is fair enough." Mr. Cameron also hinted that the legislation could need tightening in the wake of the ruling. Our FOI freedom of information laws specifically include the option of a governmental veto, which we exercised in this case for a reason. If the legislation does not make Parliament's intentions for the veto clear enough, then we will need to make it clearer. Campaign for Freedom of Information Director Maurice Frankel welcomed the decision to release the letters but expressed concern that any move now to strengthen the veto could see it extended to more politically embarrassing cases. "That would be very unwelcome," he said. "It gives ministers the opportunity to overturn the wheelbarrow every time they don't like the decision." On the ruling to release the letters, he added, "This is a critical decision which strengthens the FOI Act. It says the courts, not ministers, normally have the last word." Black Spider memos. In 2010 the government changed FOI laws to remove the public interest test. The Republic Group, which campaigns for a democratic alternative to the monarchy, is now calling for the law to change so future requests for disclosure can be successful. Republic CEO Graham Smith said, "This is excellent news. The government must now act to end royal secrecy. Any risk to the monarchy must pale against a risk to democracy from having an activist prince acting in secret. We can't have a situation where we don't know what influence Charles is having on government policy. The changes made to FOI laws in 2010 must be reversed so future requests for disclosure can be successful." Shortly before the ruling, Deputy Prime Minister Nick Clegg said Prince Charles was entitled to assume his letters would remain private. Speaking on his weekly LBC radio phone-in, Mr. Clegg said there was a legitimate role of the government allowing it to say correspondence like that, since it was intended to be private, should remain private.